Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 3 o'clock on the 1st of July, the Tuesday after the Nationals. Did actually go to the Nationals and stay there overnight and had 2 days there. Came back, and the reason I'm starting on this pond, if you might be able to see the small fish down there. When we came back, I actually saw the other fish, which the bigger ones were in here, under this return, gasping for oxygen. So I got my emergency supply of oxygen out. I got my compressor out with me pill cue. You've seen this before. I've shown you this before. It's for pumping some air into the ponds when it gets warm and they're lacking a bit of oxygen. It's just to make sure I do get the pond aerated a bit more. To be fair, these didn't look bad anyway, so I wasn't too worried about these, but obviously in the other pond it's a bit greener, a bit thicker, and they were struggling a bit. Regards the Nationals, had a great time. The guys who were showing the fish from New Forest did well, got some prizes. I understand that Rocket Boy's not feeling very well today, probably got a bit of sunstroke. He didn't wear a hat, not that I saw anyway. He should have got one like Tony's, he's from Far More Koi. He should have got one like that. They could have looked like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. But getting back to the Nationals, I did meet a lot of people. I met a lot of YouTubers, but I also met people who were a bit of a shock because I gave somebody one of the mugs and they said, "Oh, we watch your channel," and it sort of set me back a bit, and she starts talking about the channel, and I thought, oh, nice, at least somebody is sitting there watching it through and enjoying it. So that for me, that's the first really, that you usually get people you talk to who say, well, I'll subscribe to that channel, but no, she already was subscribed and she watched it, so yeah, made me feel a bit better. But yeah, I met a lot of people there and actually talked the ears off of some people. Saw a young lady sat at a table near the marquee at the bottom of the showground near where the food was, and Hillary was going to get something to eat. I went and sat with her and we got chatting, and when her husband came back we got talking about he's thinking of building a new pond, and he's thinking of having a 4,000 gallon pond. He was still in the process of designing it and everything. Apparently I think they said they don't live far from the Hadfield, and I'm sure if Lee knew, he'd help him out a little bit, give him a bit of advice. The advice I gave him was, make sure it's the size you want, make sure you've got a budget, double your budget, and then you might get what you want. But that's how it is when you're doing ponds and growing koi. But yeah, met a lot of people there, really enjoyed it. Congratulations to everybody who was there and won a bit of something. It was hot, the fish was suffering. I didn't buy a lot while I was there. I'd have liked to have bought a cup of tea, but they'd got no hot water in where they had the tea and coffee, and didn't manage to get one, which how that works I don't know. At a big show like that I was gobsmacked. But probably that's the only criticism I've got of the show. If anybody saw Vince's video about the show, they would have seen me give him the bowl I've been making that nobody knew about for photographing fishing. And we walked up to the car with Rick, and he actually videoed when I took it out the car, and we was chatting about when he'd asked me to do it and the problems I'd had with making it. One of which being that when I made the pattern, it put it into storage and it got wet, and that caused me all sorts of issues when I tried to lay the mould up and then make the finished article out of it. But when Vince asked me about it, he asked me for something to keep control of the fish to photograph when they was in the bowl. So if you watch the video, see the handover, then you can probably see the Mustang they went to have a look at after. But basically we was talking about putting slots in it so we could put a stop in so the fish wouldn't be able to swim backwards and out the way. That'd only work if it was in the tub, and the fact that the slots would show when you're photographing it would be a problem. So went down the route of making it solid so it can be used without having a tub, or you can put it in the tub with bigger fish, because it's my thoughts that the bigger fish need a bit more watering and a bit more support, and they won't be able to turn around. But if you watch Vince's video about the show, you'll see what I mean. Also, thank you to all the people who have subscribed. I don't know whether I met you at the show or whatever, but I've gone from about 460 to 487 subscribers, which is fantastic for somebody who was only going to do it for a couple of weeks. Other things that went off, which I'm pleased one of them were caught on camera, was the YouTuber who does this, Aaron. And the little story about that, well, there's Vince's little flamingo where he wouldn't accept off me last year. But what I did, I'd saved Leo, Aaron's son, a mug from the first lot I did, and I got him one of those as well to give to him on the day. And unfortunately at the evening, Saturday evening, when a few drinks had been flowing, Aaron decided he might give Gaz, one of the other chaps who were there that evening, a mug. And as he threw the mug to him in the box, I noticed some red on the box. And the reason for that, it was my mug what I'd give Leo, and I'd put marker pen on it so I didn't get it mixed up with anything else. And he basically gave my mug away. Luckily I stopped him, and he was full of apologies. I've written him off my Christmas card list, so, but he did give me a mug. So you're forgiven, Aaron. Enjoyed the chat on the Sunday as well with you and your wife, and we did have a good evening. Now, something I've been trying with these fish, I'm going to show you the fry in a minute as well, because I've done another selection. I've got too many fry, and the tub I've got them in is getting too mucky too quick, so I've done a selection with Hillary today. But what I've tried to do for years is hand feed these fish, and I was told that crab sticks were the right thing to do. So you can see them lining up. They know I'm going to go and give them crab sticks, and the asagi or possibly be the one that comes up and feeds. But this week was the first time I've hand fed ever the fish. They've never come up to hand feed. The asagi is normally the first one to come, but if you drop pieces off, you can see how much they like them. Here he comes. You nearly got my finger, never mind. Crab sticks. Some of the little ones really like the crab sticks as well. I don't actually know how good they are for them, because I'm assuming they're just full of water. But they definitely like them. If I just drop them bits in, you can see it because it's a bit sunny now. But they're definitely a tempter for them. And every time I've gone near the pond, because I feed them from this corner, they've gone after these. So if you're wanting to try tan feed, this is the answer. I'm not doing it at the moment because I'm struggling with doing the camera as well. But normally I go about 5 o'clock when it's between what the feeder runs about 2:30 and 7:30, and I normally come and give them a bit of a treat then. But chuffed to death really that they're coming for them. Right, so as you can see, we're set up for this sunshine. We'll have a wander down to the fry now and I'll just show you them, and I'll show you in the greenhouse as well. We've got some courgettes coming on there. Strawberries about finished. That was the painting I did when I was trying to paint something for the mug. Didn't quite come out like that when you look at it, but I'm going to get in touch with Lebo at Lebo's Koi. He was in the big marquee down the bottom, and I'm going to see about having some t-shirts embroidered. He did t-shirts, he did woodworking, he did clocks, he did hats, he does mugs. I don't know how long he's been doing it, but I'm going to give him a try and see if we can't get something sorted. So we'll just whip you in there. Right, as you can see, oh, the feeder's just blooming gone off and it's not in right position. I've moved everything while I've done. Oh my god, what an idiot. Right, I'll show you these. These are the rejects. See if I can get a bit of shadow on it. These are the rejects. I think there's about 30 in there. Me and Hilary sat and went through them. Yeah, I have to be careful with Hilary because she likes certain type of fish, and if I'd have thrown them in here she'd have gone mad. But these are what are going into the swimming pool pond this time. There's some nice ones. I think these two here, I quite like them, but they're too small. None of my fish have really grown that much. I just think it's overstocking, and obviously the size of the tub what I'm growing them in. It's killed me really. I'd have loved to have been able to compete. But there's the ones I'm going to keep at the moment. We might have another go through these sometime this afternoon. But again, they're not that big. But there is some nice fish in there. Just see if I can get a better picture. If I can get them to go into sunshine without getting any flashback. But there is a couple of nice, what look like they're going to be quarkum in there. I think that one there is quite a nice one. Going to be a 3-step, I think. I'm happy enough with the fish. I've just not been able to grow them as I wanted, so a bit disappointed with that, but there is some nice ones in there. I'm not going to go through them for a couple of hours, so if anybody does watch this early doors and they know a bit more than I do how to grade a fish, you're listening, Rick at New Forest, give us a bell and tell us which is the best ones. These with the white head, that's the biggest one I've got. In with the white head, I don't know whether he's going to be any good or not, because I thought basically we'd be looking for ones with gold or orange on the head. But my favourite's got to be there somewhere, but I don't know where he is. But there is some nice ones in there, I'm sure. I might get it wrong, but none of them are going to die unless they get eaten at the moment. I'm keeping them all. There's one of my favourites there with the stripe coming down his head, the black stripe, call him Lightning. So he'll not be going anywhere. And he's one of the bigger ones. But that's where we are with that. Tomatoes are all coming through nicely. Some ready again. Cucumbers, I've had a few off this already. Yesterday I took some off. But as I say, I'm going to have a go again in a bit. And these little fellas are going to go in the swimming pool pond. Again, well done to everybody who got a prize at the show. Well, in fact, just for taking your fish, I think you need a bloody medal, to be honest, because obviously it was not the best weather for them, and I know there were a lot of spawning going on. But what I'll do, I'll drop a few of these in here, and then I'm going to do a bit of sunbathing, and I hope you all have a lovely afternoon. And anybody who is building a pond, if any of the YouTubers are near you, if you comment, I'm sure somebody will help you, because I met somebody at the show who entered for the first time and won, I think it was Baby Champion, and I think I heard him say that the year before he wanted to go to the show but couldn't get there, and somebody offered him a lift, and I think they're best mates now. So that's how this community seems to work. So if you're getting involved, get involved with it all, the YouTubing and everything else. But on that note, I'm going to leave you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lovely afternoon, and don't forget to put your sun cream on. Thank you. Bye.